Welcome to the Good and Kinky Show. My name is Greg, and in today's program, I have a special guest with me, Blanktester.
Hey, how's it going?
Alrighty. Tried this earlier with Mac Nuts, and the audio for me didn't pick up, so we're going to have to do this again. And can guarantee all of you that the video that I did with Mac will be covered again. We'll do that at a future time. But this one is about insane conspiracy theories, and this one that I had come across has to be the most insane. Blanktester lost it when he first saw when I was first loading the XSplit. I was wondering if he was going to be having his composure by the time it had loaded.
Uh, hmm. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, it's a tough call, isn't it?
it's a really convincing theory. I find myself swayed by, by the overwhelming preponderance of evidence.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what it is?
Yeah, this is the
With a lot of the shit.
this is the conspiracy theory that JonBenét Ramsey is Katy Perry.
Yeah. If you listen to the lyrics, you can.
I'm going to play part of this guy's video because you have to hear what he is. And for those of you watching this, you're actually going to see what this dumbass is trying to put forward. Here we go.
Hoax, system lie. JonBenét Ramsey did not die. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. That sacrifice was an in name only. And that sacrifice was to get something. And that something was to become a star. JonBenét Ramsey became Katy Perry. That's a fact. So if any of you continue to lie about this person dying, you are in fact a false witness to murder and death. That's a fact. If any of you have told people in the past that this person died, you need to go tell them that you were wrong. Otherwise, you are still a liar and a false witness of death. Nobody died, nobody got hurt, period. Looking easily through, you can see the so-called parents of the Katy Perry character are in fact the same too as the JonBenét. He shaved his head, she lost some weight. That's about it.
That's insane. For those, let me just point this out real quick. And I had closed the other, but it's real easy. And what you'll see is I have XSplit, so everything that I type in, you guys will see how I find this stuff. And Katy Perry birthday. Katy Perry was born October 25th, 1984.
No, see, the problem is that's just what the man wants you to believe.
The man?
The man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've seen X-Files. I want to believe.
Uh-huh.
I love how I don't think I've ever met or heard of or listened to a conspiracy theorist who hasn't used somewhere in a sentence so-called. The phrase so-called. Something is always so-called.
Yeah.
Nothing can't ever just be the case.
Because the thing with JonBenét Ramsey, her
You mean
birthday...
so-called JonBenét Ramsey.
Yeah. Her
Yeah.
birth date, August 6th, 1990.
Mm.
That's a
But it's
huge
oddly
problem.
convenient that she'd land just exactly on that particular day. What does it
Really?
mean? I don't know, but it seems oddly convenient.
Yeah, and it just... My girlfriend had mentioned to me that she saw somebody had posted a comment of nobody would suspect that Katy Perry is JonBenét because, yeah, it's one. She would have been 6 years old when this girl was born.
Right. Nobody would suspect that a 6-year-old was being born at the time.
Yeah, nobody would suspect they're one and the same because
It would be an unprecedented medical, I wouldn't say miracle, for a 6-year-old to be born when they were 6.
right. And one of the things I did find is that's really weird that it does that. But all right, I was having this issue before with the other video, but we're going to try and roll with
Hey,
it.
crap. I just figured it out. Katy Perry is secretly part kangaroo. She spent 6 years in her mother's pouch, and then she came out as JonBenét. It all makes sense now.
Oh yeah.
The whole reason she's pretending to be Katy Perry, so-called Katy Perry, is that
Now,
the kangaroos are in charge.
one of the things that people are going to see that are watching the video that unfortunately, Blanktester, you can't see right now is there's a picture that I had found of what JonBenét Ramsey would look like today if she had not been killed.
Okay, I was going to say, she looks like a, bag of bones.
No,
Dirt.
artists reconstructed and did the facial progression or whatnot of what the face would look like after 20-some years. They've done this with people that have been missing, like a missing
Right.
child, that here's what the person would look like as an adult. Scientific, it's incredible how they do it.
Yeah, it's amazing when you see, and especially when they find people who they've done it to, and you're like, wow, that's really close.
Yes. But this is nowhere close to Katy Perry. Not even. My girlfriend had mentioned one person had said that they know it's the same because of the eyebrows. That the eyebrows don't change. And I'm like, are you serious?
No, see, that's the thing. Most people don't realize both Katy Perry and JonBenét Ramsey have one on either side, right above the eye. That can't just be a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thunk?
Yeah, there's something going on here, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's one, for all of you that are looking at this, and I'm going to try to have the pictures and finding a picture of Katy Perry that is not unsuitable for YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Can't have that. But the
Right.
idea that they are the same is preposterous. The idea of, yeah, both are white.
So what's the logic? How do they, like, okay, I don't want to, maybe the word logic's wrong, but what's the reasoning that they have? Like,
Okay.
I guess they're thinking that they're similar age and somehow that adds up, but there are lots of people who are similar ages.
Well, I'll continue this video for a little bit.
Right.
Same people. So they produced this Masonic play. They hoaxed the death of their daughter through strangulation, which, if you understand the Jewish idea that you must stay away from strangled meats. Therefore, how would someone sacrifice someone by strangling them? See how they always put the non sequitur inside the story to catch those that have not done their work, are not studied, and are not approved. The strange world of JonBenét Ramsey is that she became Katy Perry. That's how that worked out. So moving through, you can see these parents and continued to tell the story for a while. You had ideas floating across the internet. This brings us all back close to home now, because most of you people, if you're watching this video, you've dealt with or you've seen the people I've talked about at the beginning. All of those people are untrustworthy, and they're all liars and false witnesses of death. That's supposed to be Katy Perry when she's young. You can see that that's just an older JonBenét Ramsey, right? You can see that.
Oh yeah, you can just see it.
So anyways, I'm going to move into a couple of
obviously.
different...
The thing is, what he does is he does a photo morph to try and act like the two are the same.
Right.
But what he is clearly missing, and I had posted this in comments and I can't see it on his comment section. It may have been removed, I don't know. But I pointed out the aspect of the date of birth.
Right.
And somebody had left a comment of basically, wow, why didn't I think of that?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, duh.
You're right. It's amazing to me that it seems obvious to us on the outside, but it still strikes me every time I hear about it. Every time I hear about a conspiracy theory, it strikes me as amazing how these people can buy into an idea that requires so many people to be involved.
Mm-hmm. What Mac had mentioned, because he had dealt with it on his channel, are the flat earthers.
Right. Yeah.
That they're much the same way.
Mm.
And it is insane.
Right.
Now, I think I sent you the link to my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I want you to see, because you're going to be, unlike Mac, who had read through some of these comments beforehand, I don't think you've read through any of these, have you?
No.
Because normally on my Facebook, and I'll have this posted in the comments section along with a link to the video where people can watch that in its entirety if they really want to.
Mm.
And there's another website that I'll have linked in there because of what's going to be in the comments section. But normally, this will take you to my Facebook page. And anybody, you can send me a friend request, I'll accept it. The thing is, I normally only get people liking or commenting on the things that I post that are on my friend list.
Mm-hmm.
This one was a bit weird because at the top it shows who can see this.
Right.
And it has 2 of my friends on there and 18 others that like this.
Oh.
And 1 share. I was like, cool.
Oh,
Because what I have at the top of this video embodies everything that is wrong with religion and conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
He is so convinced with his utter nonsense that he and so many simply never thought to check when was JonBenét Ramsey born versus when was Katy Perry born. This fact alone debunks this bullshit. But his torture anyone not just like me mindset is why Christianity must be treated as the dangerous cult that it is. And what I am talking about in that is in his description section. He has stopped being liars for the system. No bodies, BODIES, died.
Oh. So I guess
no bodies.
Spirits died, but bodies didn't.
Apparently not. She is still singing, obviously.
Obviously.
False death liars are going to burn. Count on it.
But don't worry, the true death liars were made in the shade.
Yeah.
All my other true death liars, wink.
Well, the aspect of she's still alive, JonBenét Ramsey is Katy Perry because of a Masonic, Illuminati, MK Ultra mind control zombie type of bullshit. This is insane garbage. But if you scroll down, you will see the comments that I was getting. And there's a buttload of them.
A lot of these people, Brian Manning, JonBenét Ramsey became Katy Perry, and that's a fact. Can someone explain how facts work to this guy? I'm gonna give that a thumbs up. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Well, not on his comments. Yeah, his comment section is funny.
Yeah.
But check out the one with my Facebook page.
Yeah, let's see. Comments. All right.
Because that's what people are seeing right now.
Right.
But
Sorry, I was looking at the.
Definitely, and it's a good thing because I mentioned that with Mac is the cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Whoa. You're not kidding. This Facebook comment here. Excuse me while I roll my eyebrows from the back of my head. Katy. Fact. Katy Perry is a Project Monarch victim and waits for her altar to surface prior to a show. Handlers grab... I don't know why handlers is in quotes. Like, they can't grab these kids early enough to split their personalities into many altars. MPD! In which they allow demonic entities to enter, giving rise to the populace worshipping the demon and thusly inviting more onto the Earth's surface. What?
That is the insane... That's the one at the bottom.
Yeah, so I've been listening. Oh, man, I love his picture, too. Is that Marco Rubio as a Terminator?
I don't know.
That's awesome.
But he went from there, because I had said, if you want to claim something as a fact, then provide evidence.
Mm.
And what he goes to is U.S. soldiers expose U.S. FEMA camps. That's not even close to what you're claiming.
That doesn't even have anything to do with it.
Right. And
I mean, that could be a completely valid video that would totally persuade us, and it would have nothing to do with the rest of it.
Nothing to do with that insane rambling above.
Think about demons and MPD.
And that was where I had said the video you posted about FEMA camps does not prove this claim Katy Perry is a Project Monarch victim.
Well,
why
Mr.
not?
Greg Kurtz, too, keep sucking on your pacifier, avoiding any possibility that you live in an inverted reality, because the mental patient here is you with extreme cognitive dissonance. Sure.
Yeah, try proving one insane idea at a time.
A hub. That's a great response, by the way. Uh-huh. You say, hey, give me some evidence, and he goes, uh-huh.
But if you scroll up, there's one that is Buddy the Cool Dog.
Yeah,
that
Buddy
is the head banging against a wall. That is priceless.
Yeah.
I like that. But there's one, you'll see his name is Jack Cook. And there are a buttload. It's over 50 back and forth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, blame this shit on double stuffed Oreos.
That's the start of this, but check out the replies.
I'm gonna go as far.
Because he has a major hard-on over this.
Yeah.
Over the fact that the picture that I have on my Facebook is me wearing sunglasses. He has such a fucking hard-on over the sunglasses.
Well, what you don't know is that only douchebags wear sunglasses. I guess.
Well, that was one he had said, and down further in this, I had posted a video of Jesse Ventura wearing sunglasses. And I don't know if you've heard of him. He was on YouTube, Scary Dave, the Church of Dave.
Yeah.
That's actually where I got the idea for having sunglasses on. I'll just give that out here because I was looking for how can I differentiate the Occult Think Tank channel from the good and kinky, and I had the thought sunglasses.
Sure.
And that was my whole motive, his whole ramblings. And what I had equated it to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is I had put it down to projection. That he was projecting onto me his own issues.
I don't know. I think there's a fair bit of that going on in general, like on the internet. People,
Yeah.
having in arguments. And I freely admit that I was one of the people doing that for a long, long time, and now I'm totally free of it. Wink. But, um, but I think this is more. This guy just seems cocky to me.
Well,
I mean, maybe that's just to hide it, but he just seems like he's. I mean, like I hate it when people say things like "you seem defensive." Like maybe I struck a nerve. If I zoomed in real close, would I see the reflection of your mom or a fat girlfriend in those glasses? Huh?
yeah.
Huh?
Now, what everybody watching the video will see is I went to this guy's YouTube or his Facebook page,
Mm.
and I found pictures of him.
Jack?
This Jack Cook.
Okay.
And they're going to be in the video portion of this. So it's the one he has like the wife beater type of shirt on.
Mm.
The other one he has a knit cap on.
Mm.
But the thing is, I was initially not really. I mean, where he said, "Why do I think you like comic books and pictures of half-naked women? Wah, wah, pussy bitch.
Mm.
Your lack of intelligence to discuss the topic. You lack the intelligence to discuss the topic, so you have no choice but to be a pussy troll, to be the pussy troll you are."
Mm.
And that was what I was hammering him with, was be on topic, be on topic.
Yeah.
And he was obsessed with the aspect of the sunglasses, and it just, he does make a comment, and I want to point this out early because it comes up later. He uses an analogy of arguing with you is like playing chess with a pigeon.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I can run with this. There is, I don't know if you remember Edward Current.
Mm.
His
God,
videos,
I miss Ed Curran.
yeah, his
Eddie was
videos
great.
were funny as hell, and he would do the checkmate thing.
Yeah, check me.
Yup, and that was one I figured, all right, I'm going to run with this.
Right.
And that was part of what I did, where I had said to him, all you can do are personal attacks because that's all you got. And I said, I do interviews with an expert on Judaism, so your entire premise is bullshit.
Right.
And I was like, checkmate, moron.
Now.
And then, because I was challenging him to deal with the fact that all he does is personal attacks.
Right.
And his response was so priceless. It's one I have to I just have to find which one it is, because there's a picture that I had put up of there. This is what everybody will see is these are where he, and before showing that, it's over here, it's in this section that I have highlighted, these two comments here that are now, you're going to see a bigger picture of it, where he said, and I'm quoting him here, and yeah, I attacked personally. Why? For one, you're a sad man that is trying to look cool by putting sunglasses on in front of your computer. I have no doubts you were hoping to get a ton of likes and women flocking to you because you look so hot. Sorry that didn't work out for you. On the bright side, I'm sure you still have stacks of Playboys lying around, or the internet is keeping you busy until all those women come to their senses and realize what a catch you are. And then he said, King me.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic chess move.
Yeah!
Yeah. All right, in this chess game, it appears that the two competitors are now at 30 love.
But then he goes on, and what he says here is so priceless that I had told him, I'll make you famous. Where he said, and secondly, I attack personally because it's all I have. I don't look to to attack beliefs like you do. I don't care that you're an atheist, but people being a Christian really seems to piss you off. You attack the person's faith. I attack you personally. He actually admitted he does it because he doesn't have anything else.
Hey, Jack Cook, buddy, please. Do you not realize how retarded that makes you sound? Like, Jack, come on, man. The whole point is that we're attacking beliefs instead of people. We make an explicit effort to do that.
And this is the best reaction type of video to seeing this because
I can't even laugh about it. Like, I'm dying on the inside. I attack personally because it's all I have.
Yep.
I attack personally because it's all I have. I don't look to attack beliefs like you do. I don't care if you are an atheist, but people being Christian really seems to piss you off. You attack a person's faith, I attack you personally. For many people, attacking their faith is the same as attacking them personally. You're a grown-ass man still obsessed with tits? I guess that was just something that people are supposed to grow out of.
Yeah, and just because for all of my listeners or viewers, just because you guys, you know me and the videos that I do, here we go, there you go, bouncing boobs.
Oh boy, can't wait to see this funnel.
It's one, are we supposed to outgrow this? I don't get it.
I mean,
is there something fucking wrong with it? I really just don't fucking get it.
Please, Greg, you're being a child. Grow up, will you? What is he talking about? Like,
but what really gets...
I still can't really... I really can't wrap my mind around...
his admission?
It's like I don't even know if he realizes it is an admission.
He confessed.
But I mean, like, does he think it's a confession, or does he think it's just like a statement of, like, to be proud of?
I honestly don't know.
Like, does he really think that it's better to attack people personally than it is to attack their beliefs? Because if he's holding, I don't think he does, but if he holds a majority view on that, I'll stop arguing with religious people about their religious ideas. I'll just call them fucking morons and walk away, if they think that's more polite.
You're not discussing the topic. You're not getting anywhere. The reason we, as atheists, and in this regard, I will speak for other atheists because I think I can. Others, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason we do it is because we want to address the subject because of the sociological impact that these beliefs have.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is, the other reason why, when if I'm responding to someone in a comment or whatever, I try to go out of my way to not use personal attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I used to use personal attacks all the time, but I've tried in the last couple of years. I've completely changed the way I do it because there's a stigma. It's a lot less than it used to be, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still a little bit of a stigma about atheists being smug, atheists
Yeah.
being rude to religious people, and just because I disagree with you about a certain topic, like that doesn't mean anything about whether or not I respect you as a person. In fact, the whole reason I'm correcting or doing what I think is correcting someone about an issue is because I respect them enough to assume that they'd like to be correct. So
Mm-hmm.
if you tell me, oh, that thing is on sale right now, and I know for a fact it's not, I'll tell you, no, it's not actually on sale, and it's not because I disrespect you, it's because I assume you'd rather be right than, go on believing something that's false, and then later find out that it's not true,
Right.
or later find out that I knew that, I was already of this other opinion, and you changed your mind, and you're like, why didn't you say anything? Because I know I'd be asking that question if I thought, I don't know, the world was flat and somebody thought the world was round and they never tried to convince me. I'd be a little offended. I'd feel
Yeah.
disrespected because they didn't make an attempt.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I'd feel equally disrespected if they just called me a fucking idiot and moved on. But
Because if you just call someone an idiot or whatnot, you're not
not
addressing.
addressing the issue.
Right. And that is where I will use it, and I do it a lot of times as, and I've said this, it's more of a backhand.
Yeah.
That it is one, you're a fucking idiot, or you're a moron, or you're a goddamn retard. And
Yeah,
then
you're a goddamn retard, and here's why.
yes, and here is why.
Yeah.
That
If you
is,
just ended at you're a goddamn retard, you're not adding to the conversation.
right, you're doing nothing.
Right.
So in that regard, it's one, that's why I will do the kind of backhand at people,
Yeah.
but then I go on to explain why they're fucking retarded.
Right.
The thing is, I had challenged him to basically discuss the topic and argue the topic.
Mm.
You can see in that comment section, he gave a link to a website. Go ahead and check that out, Blanktester.
Actually, I'm not going to click on that because Web of Trust has a ginormous red circle right there. It has the lowest possible rating for trustworthiness. Then again, people in Web of Trust do tend to rate things low because, oh, this kind of site.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It says Noah's Ark found, Sodom and Gomorrah found, Red Sea crossing found, Mount Sinai found. I had pointed out to this fucktard in a comment that was below this that those things don't prove Christianity, they're Jewish.
Right.
Those four would prove Judaism, not Christianity.
At the very least, it would prove the history in the Bible,
Yeah,
in the Jewish Bible.
that the
It wouldn't
Jews
prove anything about Jesus.
and the Shroud of Turin.
The Shroud of
Bullshit.
Turin doesn't prove anything to anyone.
Right, that's been proven to be a fraud.
Right, that's been known to be a fraud for a while now.
Then below that, dinosaurs and humans coexist.
Oh man, I can't wait to find out more.
And molecule to man evolution is impossible.
Agreed, because that's not what evolution is.
Right.
from the goo to you isn't what we think.
No.
I agree. That sounds like a really shitty idea.
And the bottom, near-death experiences.
Oh yeah, NDE.
I had included in this a link to a video and Steve Shives does a great job with his videos.
Yeah.
I want to give a bit of a shout out to him because he really knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, I don't agree with everything Steve says, but
with this one, he knocks it.
I've been up to him for years now.
This is 5 stupid things about near-death experiences.
Yeah.
And he really just nails it out of the park.
You know, a lot of times, like, I mean, I don't want to call him clickbait because his 5 Stupid Things series isn't really clickbait, but I mean, he calls it. It seems like clickbait from the title.
Yeah.
But that series is really good. He does a really good job being concise.
Yes.
About what he wants to say, and sometimes, sometimes it's not everything I agree with. Like, especially when he gets on his feminism stuff. I'm not really big into feminism, but he's concise and he's really good at stating his points the way he wants to state them very quickly. And so that's, his 5 Stupid Things about near-death experiences is a great one.
And the thing that he really hits, and he does it at the end of his videos, is the hard part is just picking 5.
Right.
And with this, no doubt.
Absolutely.
The hard part's just picking 5. And I loved his number 1 because it's the title of it, Near-Death Experience.
Right.
You're not dead.
Right. Emphasis on the near part?
Yeah. But what I had mentioned to this Jack Cook fucktard was, if you believe in Jesus, where are the blind, deaf, and paralyzed that you have healed?
Yeah.
Because Jesus said in John 14:12 that those that believe on me, the works that I do, you shall do also. So all Christians
should be able to.
Had better start raising the dead, healing the blind, doing all the miracles. Otherwise, their Jesus is a goddamn liar.
And that's the justification the rattlesnake preacher people use. They're like, well, Jesus said we could do it.
Right.
And they do it, and then they die, but then they ignore that.
Well, they also ignore that what was said. This was pointed out by he's a historian. Bart Ehrman. That portion in Mark where it says about handling snakes and so forth is not original.
Right.
That was added.
That's an interpolation.
That was added long after the fact.
Actually, you know what? Since you did a shout out for Steve Shives, I hope you don't mind. I just finished reading a book, and you can get it on Audible as well. I have an Audible account, so I get books that way too. The Case Against the Case for Christ by Robert Price. It's him responding to the book, The Case for Christ. And he actually, I think you'll like it, Greg, because he has a very similar style to you. He doesn't curse in the book, but he uses a lot of sort of half joke, half insults to talk about Lee Strobel. And then he'll talk about why this thing is wrong or that thing is wrong and how this thing is an interpolation and how these things relate. And it was really fascinating. Yeah. It's a great book, and it's read by Robert Price on, I don't know if he's a doctor. I hope not. But it's a great book. If anybody watching this video, you like Greg's stuff, you might go check that book out. It's a good book. The Case Against the Case for Christ. Anyway, continue. I can't hear you if you're saying something.
Oh, shit.
What happened?
Uh, no, I had just heard my Skype go off, and I thought it was you.
It was me.
It
I sent
what?
you a question mark. I
Okay.
couldn't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Now that I sound like the Verizon man.
Good. Yeah.
But the thing with that is, I will be doing a video on the Case for Christ crap and why Lee Strobel is a piece of shit and his case is a house of cards. And I'll be using his own Bible to debunk what he's saying,
Yeah.
because that's one of the things that I do is I will use the Christian's own Bible and the Old Testament, the Jewish Bible, to debunk what they're trying to say. And that's where I love the interviews that I do with Mark Powers.
Yeah. The thing I never really understood is like, why does Christianity insist on tacking itself to this older book when
It's
at the same time they say that the really really orthodox Christians, some of them, there's a sense of Christianity that say Christianity is an extension of Judaism, so we need to follow all those old laws. And then there are other Christians who think, oh no, when Jesus came, he threw all that stuff out, so we don't have to follow any of that anymore. Well,
even though
why do you
Jesus,
tack the book on there if you're not going to follow any of the rules
right.
anyway?
Well, they have to tack it on there because of the Ten Commandments.
Right. So if the
If-
Ten Commandments got restated in the New Testament, they'd be like, fuck this, and they just throw it away.
Not necessarily, because they have to have their story, their version of the fall.
That's true. That's true.
And they have to have their version of Satan, even though it is expressly written by the God that Deuteronomy 32:39 that there's no God but him. And I find it ironic. The God openly admits to being the one that kills, so forth, and I'm going to pull up, and I have it on my, let's see if well, I will add so everyone can see, because when I do things and I mention the Bible, I do like to pull up my eSword,
Yeah.
just so that because of the XSplit, that everybody can see what I am saying as I'm saying it, like
Right.
what I had quoted earlier with John 14:12. I like to be able to do that because then people can see, because I've had Christians accuse me of making things up and twisting things.
Right. Make things up, pull it out of context, whatever.
And that when I do it this way, that people can clearly see I'm not taking anything out of context.
Right.
And one of the things that I was mentioning with Deuteronomy 32, it's verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. The God is openly admitting he is the one behind good and evil.
Right.
There is no other. And I find it ironic that later in the Psalms it says, the fool says in his heart, there is no God.
Yeah.
The God says there is no God. Those four words are said by the God in Deuteronomy 32:39. Is the God a fool? But the thing, there is no God. And people could say, well, with me. Okay, fine, but the God said there is no God.
Right.
So it's one, if the fool says in his heart there is no God, then the God must be a fool.
Yeah.
Or the God's an atheist, which there's a bit of irony for you.
He's going through an existential phase.
But one of the things I also want to do, since I have the eSword up, is this is something that will probably blow your mind if you're not aware of this.
I'm ready.
Chris, Christians make a big deal out of faith.
Right.
Did you know that God does not? The word faith, and I will show this, Old Testament only, faith, 2 occurrences. That is it. Just 2.
I'm trying to think of like a synonym, but because
But
Christians like to say, when I say I have faith, that means that I have trust. But
how about
that,
prove?
right, I don't.
The God is interested in proving them, that I may prove them.
Sounds like the God is a better skeptic than most of these believers.
Uh-huh. For God is come to prove you. And it's over and over that you guys will see right in front of you. The God doesn't give a fuck about faith. The God wants to prove that you are what you say.
Yeah.
That is a very key aspect of this. Why should I have faith if the God is in the Old Testament, the Jewish Bible? The God has no faith. The God wants to have it proved.
And it's, that also more or less refutes the idea that God's all knowing.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to say he's all knowing, then he doesn't need proof.
Right.
It's not faith or proof. He's just all knowing. And if he's not, then he might need proof. He might take faith. And in this case, he's taking proof.
Yeah. But one of the things, and I wanted to, we had covered the aspect of this Jack Cook saying about admitting that he has nothing.
Yeah, he attacks personally because he has nothing, his words.
Yeah, but it gets even better, where if you go down and look at what he is saying regarding Christianity and Islam, he actually says that they are the same.
Really?
And there's one point he says, okay, I want you to show me somewhere where I ever said I was a Christian, and I did. By virtue of what he was posting and the way he was talking. And then he goes on down the line to be, wait a minute, where is that? Because it's freaking priceless.
Christians and those of other religions defend Islam. Are they actually followers of Islam? Really? They're the same religion. Well, fuck, you should say something so everyone in the Middle East will stop fighting.
To say Christianity...
I think he's trying to be sarcastic there.
But what he does...
But I can't tell.
The thing is, it's bizarre. But what he tries to do is he mentions about the aspect of a question mark. That, do you not know what a question mark is? And this is where basically I was trolling the troll, and I shut him down because I pointed out an aspect of grammar where the question mark thing, and I posted a link that I will pull up for everyone to see, and it's not that one. It's grammarbook.com. And rule 1, use a question mark only after a direct question. And I had posted this in the comment section of that he could easily see the rule one. This is what it is. And that the correct way versus the incorrect way both have a question mark at the end. Just putting a question mark is not correct. But then where he tried to say about it being a rhetorical question, where he really shut up was when I posted Rule 3B. Some of the sentences are statements or demands in the form of a question. They are called rhetorical questions because they do not require or expect an answer. Many should be written without question marks.
Right.
He tried saying that putting the question mark there makes it a rhetorical question. If something is a rhetorical question, it doesn't require a question mark. He completely shut down.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, at that point where you may have, to be perfectly honest, you may have scared him off by, you might have just gone, this isn't worth my time because now we're not even talking about it. Or, I mean, he's trying to get you to attack him personally instead of attacking his beliefs, and now we're just talking about grammar.
Right, and I switched from basically the beliefs to what he is saying. It's still the same. It's still going after what he is saying, not him.
Yeah, but he wants you to go after him.
Yes.
He's a bit of a sadomasochist. He is apparently Christian or something.
But he doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And that's where Mac had said about, and it's something I agree that we, as atheists, we should do it. When we encounter these people that want to try and be, I'm not a Christian, ask them, are you denying Jesus?
That's good. That's a really good point, yeah.
Yes, because if they are, it is clearly written in their New Testament, if you deny me to man, I'll deny you to the Father.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the face of it, that's not completely retarded. I mean, like, the idea that a God exists, I have no reason to think that's true, but I mean, in the logic of Christianity, it totally makes sense. You deny Jesus and he won't let you into heaven.
The problem, and I do want to address this just because we're on it and we can cover it a bit, the idea, and it gets into a little bit of the case against Christ type of thing, where Christians try, and they probably have done this with you, Blanktester, they quote Ezekiel 18:20, the soul that sinneth, it shall die.
Yeah.
They love that one, but they don't mention the next verse.
What is the next verse?
But if the wicked will turn from all his sins that he hath committed, and keep my statutes, and do what is lawful and right, he shall surely live, he shall not die.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Problem solved.
No need, I mean, if the God would have as a plan this idea of Jesus and a scapegoat, what better place to put it in and mention, oh yeah, by the way, if you believe in X,
you're good.
You're good, yeah. Not only does it not mention that, this God says you must change your behavior and do what is right.
I mean, I'd say that verse pretty directly, it pretty directly
debunks Christianity.
Well, what I was going to say was it puts forward a works-based salvation.
Yes.
Which is exactly what you constantly hear Christians saying. Well, not constantly, but there was a time when apologetics was really on that kick. You know,
well,
the difference between Christianity and other religions is that we don't believe in a works-based salvation.
Except their Jesus
It's not
did.
that we're reaching. It's not that we're reaching to God. It's that God's reaching down to us. And I'm like,
and that's crap.
Oh, great! I'm glad you think that. Now prove it.
That's easy. Do it with their own Jesus,
Yeah.
where he said, Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And he
And that's
goes
not something I disagree with.
he goes on, and it's again in Matthew 16:27, for the Son of Man shall come in his glory of his Father and his angels, and he shall reward every man according to his works. The one that brings in this idea of faith is Paul.
Oh, fucking Paul. I don't even know why it's called Christianity. Paul was the one who made up all the stuff that they're doing and saying today.
Bingo. That is basically, most Christians are, to pardon the pun, appalling.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. They make Paul into their God, not Jesus.
Right. He's the god behind the scenes.
Yep. It's all about what Paul said. It has nothing to do with what Jesus said.
Yeah,
They
Paul,
only
Paul,
want to go
Paul
with,
never, even if we accept that there's a historical Jesus, Paul never would have met him.
No.
At all.
No. There's only the story of Paul and his road to Damascus.
Right. He has a vision on the road to Damascus, and then he converts suddenly. And then after that, he just writes letters to people, and a bunch of those letters are obvious interpolations with different style and different vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, so many of his letters are forgeries or edited.
Yeah. It raises so many questions. I mean, there's more questions with it than anything.
You know, there's actually, in the book that I recommended earlier, The Case Against the Case for Christ, he talks about Paul and his so-called, going back to that, so that's a callback, his so-called conversion on the road to Damascus. And he brings up that it's not even necessarily the case that Paul was somebody preaching against Christianity who then converted. And he points out several verses where it's basically said something to the effect of Paul, Paul, who's a Christian, whose many friends and family had come before had been Christians, or something to that effect. And basically says, if Paul's describing himself in this letter, why would he ever say that if he wasn't already a Christian?
Mm-hmm.
If he became not a Christian, then it makes sense, because it's like, oh, my family is a bunch of Christians, but I'm not Christian, right? But he is describing himself as a Christian at the time, and he's saying that the people before him were Christian. I mean, unless it was like his parents raised him to be something else, and then he converted back to Christianity.
There was no Christianity before him.
Right, but I mean, like, he says his parents were believers in Jesus. That's basically the assertion, and I'm like, I've never heard this before.
Yeah,
look it up. It's pretty weird. Yeah.
The thing with that is the weird part with Jesus is, during the first century, the predominant majority of the followers were Jewish.
Right.
But by the second century, the majority of the followers were not.
Right.
The reason for that, do you know why that is?
Oh, you mean ethnically Jewish?
Ethnically Jewish, yes.
Right. And then that was Constantine, right?
It has to do with has more to do with Judaism as to why the Jews didn't stay following him. He didn't fulfill the criteria for Messiah. And he died, so that's it.
As Billy Lane Craig likes to say, the Jews had no conception of a dying, let alone a
No.
rising Messiah.
Right. The Messiah was not only not to die, it was supposed to have a long life
Right.
and have children. The Messiah was never a deity. It was simply a man that would fulfill the criteria outlined by the God. The criteria were set so you wouldn't need faith. The God was saying the Messiah would do this, this, and this, so you will know.
Right.
There's no faith needed. You only need faith when someone is lying to you.
Well, you only need faith when you don't know.
Yeah. And everything about Judaism is about being able to say that they know. That's
Yeah.
why when I've done my interviews with Mark Powers, one of the things he has said is for the Jews, for them, it's they know that their God is real because of Moses. He appeared to Moses and the stories and so forth. They feel that they have a personal connection and have had personal experiences through their history with their God.
Right.
It's not about having faith. It's about here is why we know.
You
And
know what? Good.
but that is, in a nutshell, that is the big difference. It's not a faith thing with Jews.
Right.
And I find it disturbing and ironic at the same time that a lot of these wacky Christians are so anti-Jew.
Right. It's not all Christians, because we don't want
Uh-uh.
to. No, I mean, it's not even most Christians.
It's
the
the
wacky
wacky
ones.
ones.
Yeah. I actually know a guy on Skype who messages me constantly, and he's absolutely batshit insane.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually sent me a video yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, that I should send to you after we're done recording this,
Okay.
because I think you could make a pretty good video about this. But he says all kinds of things, and like one of the things that makes it clear just how wacky he is. He's a Holocaust denier.
Oh, brother, one of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's off the deep end.
Yeah.
Super duper crazy, and it's amazing how he also buys into some conspiracy theory.
Oh, obviously. I mean, I would
Why
be
wouldn't?
surprised if he wouldn't.
But I think it's interesting. Like, I was actually talking to someone yesterday about this. Somebody messaged me and he said, "Hey, I'm just curious. Why do you think?" He was asking me, "Why do you think that people believe such crazy things?" He's just looking for what I was thinking, and I told him basically what my idea is there, and this goes with conspiracy theories. It also goes with some religious things too. Basically, someone a very long time ago told them some claim that was just false. It required a bunch of other extra assumptions, but they were a child when they were told, or they were innocent, or they were just believing, gullible, whatever. And they heard this, and it locked down into their mind. And then it and all the corollaries locked down. And then other things, they're always trying to pattern match. So they've got all these things already established. Does that idea fit? No. Does that idea fit? Yeah, okay, let's just stick it in there. And for a while, you just build up ideas in your head like that. And, I mean, that's how children learn.
Yes.
But most of us grow up and discard the old ideas and bring in new ones. And the people who are trying to be skeptical are the ones who are actively trying to improve that process, actively trying to disprove what they already believe.
Mm-hmm.
But these are people who don't think that's beneficial. They don't think it's necessary. They don't think it's helpful to do that. And so they'll throw out one crazy idea. They'll finally be convinced about one of those things. But all these other stupid ideas that have lodged their way into their brain only leave room for other stupid ideas.
Yeah.
They can't just they can't just uproot all of those ideas and throw them all out at the same time. Most of the time, some people can. I was never in a position where I believed lots and lots of conspiracy theories. I was never even really particularly religious, but I think there are some people who used to be conspiracy people, and that's why I think when you meet somebody who's a conspiracy theorist, a lot of times you also find that they have pretty far out views on a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Those are the only kinds of views that can fit in that kind of framework.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be somebody who you in principle disagree with on the other things. I mean, like I'm a left-leaning person politically. There are crazy people on the left and there are crazy people on the right, and conspiracy theorists end up on both ends.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, they can't be pinned down to, in a sense, left or right. They can be
you can't be like all those right-wing people are, or all those left-wing.
Yeah.
No, it's really more complicated than that. But at the same time, it's more simple. The simple part is it's just crazy ideas. Crazy ideas attract other crazy ideas.
But the last thing I want to mention to you and everybody else is on my Occult Think Tank channel, I've been dealing with a guy that has said he's a deist.
Okay.
And I had said to him, basically to the effect of, don't worry, before too long you'll realize that there's no need for basically a nursemaid type of the God concept. It'll fade away, because when I went from Christianity, I didn't go right to atheism. I did go the more deistic initially.
Right.
Because I think it's just an easier progression.
It's an easier step for a lot of people to take.
And he mentioned about religion being absurd, and I agree, and that's a good sign.
That's basically the first step.
Yes. And he mentioned Buddhism, and Buddhism isn't really a religion. It's more of a philosophy. It
depends on how you define religion, but as far as it's certainly not a deistic or theistic religion.
Buddhism, I've talked to a lot of Buddhists, and they are basically on the same page as me.
Yeah, pretty much.
A Buddhist and atheist are damn near kissing cousins. So if somebody is, in a sense, leaning to Buddhism, bear in mind you're leaning also to atheism, because there's so many things. If you look at what Buddha had said, he said point blank, don't believe something because it's been spoken many times. Don't believe something because I've said it or because someone else has said it. Believe it because you have found that it's true.
I mean, that's basically skepticism right there.
Yes. And basically that it's true and it works for you, then live by it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with Buddha.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sentiment.
And there was one point he was asked, are you an angel? Are you a god? And he was, nope. What are you? I'm awake.
Right.
And in that, you can also say, that's atheism.
Yeah.
That's what we're about. It's not about trying to say there is no God. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a question of belief or disbelief.
Yeah.
And that
hold the positive belief that there is no God, that still doesn't necessarily mean that you're. I mean, even if you hold the positive belief that there is God, it's really up to whoever's making the positive belief claim to make their case. And if they make a bad case, we should neither believe nor disbelieve. We should just be out of it.
Yeah. In a sense, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's one I would love to hear, and I look forward to hearing the comments in the comment section from everybody in this. And, yes, there will be another video that I do with Mac Nuts, as well as I want to thank Blanktester for being in this video.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And it's one that we're definitely going to have to do this again in the near future.
Yeah, happily.
But Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.